The early morning light and the singing of mountain birds woke me up. I could hear chipmunks scurrying around the camp, cleaning up the crumbs from my camp dinner. The pure joy I initially felt in nature after so many years quickly faded as today's reality set in. At 6,000 feet, the air was fresh and cool. Stepping out of the tent, I was captivated by the sight of an alpine lake surrounded by snow-capped mountains. I wanted to bury the painful realities deeper, clear my mind, and go fishing. But I knew that today was the very day I had been dreading for the past month. Today is the day of confrontation, which I must face harshly and definitively, so I can start anew. I prepared a simple breakfast of eggs and sausage on the propane stove, accompanied by thick black coffee. As I sat there, finishing my drink and gearing up for the 6-mile hike, I marveled at how beautiful and peaceful this moment was. I reminded myself that, yes, there is beauty and enjoyment in life if you just keep moving forward in the right way. I knew I would definitely return to camping, hiking, fishing, and sailing, my old hobbies that I had set aside for 23 years of marriage to the woman I once wholeheartedly considered the love of my life. I'm an optimist. I hope there will be another one at some point. The walk down was pleasant and uneventful, and I didn't encounter anyone on the trail until I reached where I had parked. I packed my car with my gear and started driving out onto the main highway. After being unplugged for the last 3 days, I turned my phone back on, knowing that once I got within cell coverage, the texts and emails would begin. As I pulled onto the 2-lane paved county road, I heard the first beep of the message and looked down to see that it was from my 21-year-old son, Zane. Zane and I were not only father and son, but had also become best friends in confidence. We had navigated the trials and tribulations of his tumultuous teenage years together, emerging with respect and a strong mutual love. Zane's message was short and to the point. Dad, I love you and support you. Good luck today and stay positive. Somewhere, someday, there will be a light at the end of this tunnel. His words of encouragement brought tears to my eyes and helped strengthen me in what I had to do. The next message I opened was from my daughter Krista, filled with promises of support and love. Dad, how I wish I could be with you, hug you, and tell you that everything will be fine. You are the best father we can imagine and always put us first. Now you have to put yourself first, no matter what happens. You need to know that Zane and I love you and will always be here for you. Krista had always been a daddy's girl. Although she was the spitting image of my beautiful wife, Matt, in her younger years, Krista had inherited my sense of adventure, love of the outdoors, and crazy sense of humor, traits mine never possessed. At least I was blessed with children that I loved, respected, and who would be the best legacy I would ever leave behind at the end of what I hoped would be a happy and fulfilling life again. I paused to take a breather and carefully reviewed my messages, emails, voicemails, and missed calls. There had been 10 missed calls from my wife in the last 3 days. The first 7 or so were probably from her 3-day banking seminar and business trip to Vegas, and the last 3 seemed to have been after she returned last night and then again this morning. I can imagine how furious she was when I wasn't at the airport to pick her up, and when I didn't respond to her calls or texts. I didn't bother with voicemails. I deleted them all and went straight to my inbox. Unsurprisingly, Maya had written to me about 20 times in the last 3 days, and again, I didn't respond. I skimmed through them, noticing the first few were her declarations of endless love for me. What crap, I thought, probably out of guilt. The last few messages were toxic, full of resentment because I hadn't answered her, hadn't returned her calls, and left her waiting at the airport for over an hour before she finally realized I wasn't coming. The final message from her was simply, WTF, Kyler, all in caps. How our relationship had changed over the past months. I don't think she even understood how the spark of love in me that had always burned for her began to slowly fade away. Had she really drifted away from me that much over the last treacherous 4 months? Had she really lost all conscious thought about me, about my feelings, and about the pain in my eyes, which I was surprised she did not see? Did she so easily forget about her children, about our family, and about the love we shared for so long? It was perhaps even more depressing than her novel. Mia, at 44, was stunning. She had incredible curves, slender legs, and firm, pert breasts. She knew how to present herself for any occasion, whether it was flirting at a social event or portraying a rising star in the trust department of the U.S. Bank of Commerce. I always felt proud to be seen with her, and I relished the way men looked at her, struggling to contain their desire and divert their gaze. The knowledge that she was mine and that we were deeply connected gave me a significant boost of self-respect and selfishness as we passed by those lustful onlookers. I expressed to her how beautiful and desirable she was, but she consistently protested, claiming she was getting old and no longer felt as young, energetic, and sexy as she once did. It was clear this was troubling her, so I reassured her that her light was growing brighter, not dimmer. However, she brushed off my compliments, saying, "You just have to say it because you are my husband and you love me." Anyway, her underboss, Lane Henderson, somehow became a new light in her life, at least sexually. Now obviously, I was considered a somewhat boring but reliable best friend. Although for me, we even stopped being friends, but again, Maya didn't notice this. Lane Henderson, the wealthy vice president of the trust department, was thin, tall, and so self-confident that I found him obnoxious the several times I met him. But Maya considered him the epitome of a great leader. "He's an amazing leader," she would say when we discussed her work life and him. But that too suddenly stopped 4 months ago. Looking back, I now believe that this was the beginning of her affair, the beginning of the end of 23 years together. I brushed aside my depressive thoughts, glanced at my phone once more, and with an angry brow, deleted all her messages before moving on to other emails. My lawyer had informed me that everything was ready to go according to our agreements. I also noticed a message in the private chat and opened it to read. "The man you were interested in got into serious trouble during a robbery, one crushed testicle and a shattered knee." As soon as I closed the chat, everything was automatically erased. The next email I checked confirmed that my resignation from my job had been accepted. It also stated that my 401k stock options had been liquidated, with the proceeds transferred to my new checking account. Financially, I'll be secure for at least a few years, though the tax hit will be significant. Still, I didn't mind. I needed to leave. Just as I was about to pull out onto the road, my phone rang. Seeing Maya's name on the screen, I figured there was no better time to talk than now, like ripping off a Band-Aid. It needed to be quick and convincing. I pulled over, turned off the engine, and answered the call, trying to keep my voice as dispassionate as possible. "What the hell do you mean?" Maya shot back. "First of all, where are you? You weren't at the airport to pick me up, and you weren't home all night. You haven't even left a note or answered my calls or messages since last week. What the hell, Tyler? Tell me what happened." "Gee, Maria, I thought you wouldn't care whether I answered or not. Did you see me or not? I assumed you'd be relieved I'm not home. This way, you can get yourself cleaned up and back in character before you see me, the kids, our friends, or your parents. Isn't that how your double life operates?" "What? Why do you say that, Kyler? I don't understand. What double life? You know that I have to travel for work. And by the way, why don't the children answer my calls and messages? Where is our king-size mattress from the master bedroom? Last night, I had to sleep in the guest bedroom. Kyler, what the hell is going on? Where the hell are you? And why did you leave me at the airport? I feel like I'm in the twilight zone and nothing makes sense," she exclaimed, her voice tinged with confusion and frustration. "Mia, you are in that twilight zone into which you have driven yourself and our entire family." As Maya's anger and aggressive verbal attacks subsided, her confidence seemed to waver and her deepest fears appeared to emerge. "No matter where I am or where I'm going, I'm out of town, Maya. And I've been too busy last week to answer your texts and calls. I've been very busy trying to figure out how to move on from the major betrayal in my current life and into my new life. First of all, Maya, tell me how your 3-day banking conference went. Did that asshole Lane have sex with you every night and morning? Or just 3 nights? Kyler retorted. "Yes, Mia, you are married to me. And I am amazed that you still consider this a marriage. So can you at least do me the courtesy after 23 years of marriage to tell me the fucking truth? I know you have had no respect or care for me or your family for the past few months. But now that the lies and deceit have been exposed, how about being honest? Well, at least now you've admitted that you know which Lane we're talking about. For a moment, it seemed to me that Lane was not the only one there. Mia, tell me honestly, did you think you'd never get caught? Or did you just not care? Why didn't you want to tell me that you wanted a divorce and loved someone else? It would be a lot easier for everyone if you had the courage to let us know before you lie and cheat behind our backs." Mia shouted, "Kyler," and I could hear her crying. "Don't even mention the word divorce. Please believe me. I love only you. Please come home so we can talk about this. Nothing happened. How could you think otherwise? It seemed Maya was certain I had no proof and thought I was bluffing, so she intended to keep up the act. So you never had sex with Henderson in our bedroom on our now missing king-size mattress? No, of course not. What the hell are you talking about? Mia, wait in line for a minute, okay? With those words, I retrieved a photo of Lane Henderson having sex with Maya while she was on all fours. She appeared to be in ecstasy, and judging by the intense expression on his face, he was clearly giving it his all. It was one of many photos and videos I had received from a camera hidden in plain sight inside the dresser clock I had purchased a month ago after being warned about her affair. I sent the photo to Mia and switched back to the call. Mia, take out the photo I just sent you. Are you telling me it's not my loving wife cheating on me in my bedroom, on my huge mattress, without a condom, with her fucking boss? I heard her hang up and scream in agony. God, no, Kyler, please. It was a mistake. It only happened once. It didn't mean anything. It was just a fling, just the excitement of someone younger who wanted me so bad and made me feel sexy and young again. It was the only time, and I really never meant for it to hurt you. God, I'm so sorry. But Kyler, if... Mia, look out the window at the center of the backyard. See that pile of charred wood, metal, and ash? That used to be our king-size mattress. It's a symbol of how you set fire to our marriage, how you betrayed our family, how you humiliated me. When did you start hating me enough to cause me such pain? When did you decide that my love and the love of our children no longer mattered to you? When did you decide that I was no longer deserving of respect and honesty? When and why did you choose to discard us like morning trash? Kyler, please forgive me. I love you and could never hate you. I want to spend my whole life with you. It was an accident, a terrible mistake, and it happened only once. It was my selfishness. You had absolutely nothing to do with it. Please, Kyler, come home and talk to me. How dare you, Mia? I haven't done a damn thing to keep the kids away from you. You did it all by yourself. That is, you and your fucking friend. It's all you. Your selfish, self-centered attitude and your need for sex with someone else's man is what brought you into the twilight zone and what took our entire family and destroyed it and drove us all away from you. And no, it wasn't me who told the children. It was the children who told me. What a pity. I never would have thought that you could lie, deceive me, and abandon us so easily. At least stop lying now. This wasn't just one fucking time. This has been going on for at least 4 months. I'm not judging by the way you emotionally cut us all out of your life. And the saddest thing is that you didn't even realize it. You stopped talking to us, stopped looking at me, stopped making love to me, except for the occasional mercy sex. You disgust me. Maya, wait. I pulled out the next photo from my phone, the one where Zane came home unannounced to pick up some tools and heard his mother and Henderson. He quietly crept to the open door of the master bedroom, took out his phone, and took several pictures and videos. He didn't tell me about it for 2 weeks until he and Luna decided I had a right to know. So they called me and told me, and we all cried and were physically sick, watching their mother, my wife, betray us with his boss. This is what prompted me to buy a spy camera. I'd also sent this photo to Mia. Mia, open the phone again. This is the first time any of us have found out about you and your boss. Considering how you cut all emotional ties with me 3 months before this picture, I'm sure you were lovers the whole time. Mia, Zane discovered you first and took a photo of you in bed having sex. What do you think your son feels after witnessing his mother's betrayal? Don't you realize it turned him off, and that you lost his and Luna's respect when they saw those pictures and debated whether to tell me about your adulterous behavior? Do you think they have any trust or respect for you now? Do you know how painful it was for them to tell me you were a liar, and how hard it was to hear them cry as they watched you ruin our marriage and destroy our family? God, Kyler, I'm so sorry. Please, you must forgive me. I went crazy, but it's over now. It was just cheap and slutty sex, and it was so exciting to be desired and secretly involved in an illicit affair. I felt young and desirable again, but there was no love, and I never wanted to hurt you. But I don't know how I could not see it. I didn't even realize how distant I was from you and the children. And I'm ashamed to admit that right now, I wake up and see myself as some other person from a horror movie or nightmare. And I hate myself for it, because I love you, the children, and our life together. Dear Kyler, please come home so I can make things right. I need to make us a family again. Mia, there is no us, we're done. You can't say you love me after you cheated on me and caused me pain and emotional damage. You have shown that you have no respect for me, no care for anyone but yourself. And because of your lies and deceit, I will never be able to trust you again. Everything we had before is now tainted and suspicious. Have you been cheating on me with him for the last few years or 4 months? How many other men have you had? Do I need to have my children's DNA tested? Don't bother answering because I won't believe a word you say. Of course, I need to get tested for STDs. You and I have nothing left. You hurt me like no other, and I could never imagine that the person I loved and bet my life on would throw me away like a piece of trash. But you did it. Maybe the kids will find their way to you eventually, but I sure as hell never will. Kyler, please don't say that. I'll do anything. I'll go to a psychologist. You can have sex with other women. Please do not leave me. I live with a feeling of guilt. I wanted to stop, and I always came back to you. It was just a pointless fling. God, please forgive me. I'm so sorry, she pleaded, her voice breaking with desperation. Mia, save your breath. I don't believe a word you say, and at this point I just don't care about you or your lies. Now listen to me carefully. What's happening now? On Monday, the bank will hand you divorce papers. Mia, listen to me. Your boss's wife has already received copies of the video and photos of your dirty affair when you cheated on me with him in our bedroom. So chances are you and fucking Lane Henderson will be stuck with each other when his wife and I both leave your cheating asses. Wow, Maya, you just don't understand. It's not me who was destroying their family. You and fucking Lane Henderson ruined everything. Your cheap affair ruined not only my life, your life, and the lives of our children, but also his wife and children. You could be proud of yourself. You had a hand in the deaths of 8 people. Luckily for you, you're such a selfish bitch that you probably don't care. Her sobs erupted, audible over the phone, but I wasn't finished. Your boss will face a civil lawsuit for alienation of affection. We'll need to determine which hospital he's in. It seemed he was unlucky, wrong place, wrong time. A friend told me that Henderson was mugged in an airport parking lot and ended up in the hospital with a crushed testicle and a shattered knee. So it's uncertain when he'll be able to have sex with anyone again. Listen, Maya, again, we're not here. It's hard to say whether you or your boss will still have your jobs by the end of next week because I also sent these photos to the president and board members of the U.S. Bank of Commerce, along with the alienation of affection and sexual harassment lawsuit. If they want to negotiate, I will try to keep you on the job, but I will require them to fire him for cause. Mia, you showed your hatred for me through your betrayal, lies, and disrespect. You took the love I cherished for you and tore it from my soul. I'm just trying to regain some self-respect before our lives go in different directions. Mina was crying so hard, with cries of disbelief and denial, that I doubted she could listen to me any longer. Holding back my anger, I felt pain and remorse for what I was putting her through. Despite my hatred, I knew I still loved her. This disturbing mix of emotions tore at my soul, but my determination for revenge and the desire to morally wound her for what she had done to me prevailed. Mia, we're nearly done. Please concentrate on the last few details. I took the $125,000 we had in savings and used $25,000 to cover Lula's college expenses for the next 2 years. I'll assist her later on, but this is all I can manage at the moment. The house is yours. I've signed the contract in your name, and if you sell it now, you'll get around $100,000. I'm not selling our house, Kyler, and I want you to stop this madness and come back to me so we can heal. Please, for our 23 years of love and happiness, before I go crazy. I brushed off her plea and continued, Mia, if you sign the divorce papers, you'll keep the house and everything in it. I'll take the $100,000 left from our savings, and we'll be done. If you don't agree or decide to fight it, I don't care. I won't be around to argue. Do whatever you want. I don't care. We're almost done, Naya. There are a few more things I need to tell you. If you look around, you'll notice that I've moved out. I took what I wanted, and all that's left is yours. I took some photos and left the wedding photo albums with you. Save them, burn them, I don't care. I left my wedding ring on the dresser. You can melt it or flush it down the toilet, just like our marriage. Zane will be stopping by to collect some of my fishing and hunting gear that he needs. He plans to come when you're not home, so don't be alarmed if you notice someone has been in the house. He doesn't want to see you. Luna is also coming to gather all her belongings. She has no intention of living there again. Like Zane, She'll prefer to come by while you're not around, so don't be surprised if her room is empty. The final thing you should be aware of is that I also sent pictures of you cheating on me to your parents, my parents, and everyone in both of our email contact lists. You might want to figure out what story you're going to tell them. I'll be damned if I'm going to be the bad guy in this broken marriage. Her crying and screaming had reached such an intensity that I feared she might faint or get hurt. This had to stop. Mia, one more thing. I quit my job last week and am moving out of state into the great unknown. I hope I can find someone in the future who loves me enough to stay true to the promises we make to each other. Someone who will respect me, treat me as an equal, and someone I can trust and love again. I hope that you, in turn, will be able to find what you clearly lacked. Please don't look for me. If you need me for anything, you can send a message through Zane or through my lawyer, but I will be out of your life and you out of mine. Goodbye, Maya. I heard her scream, Tyler, no, please, Tyler, please forgive me. Overwhelmed, I passed out and then erupted into an excruciating bout of crying and pain. It dawned on me that I had gone too far with my revenge, and forgiving myself for my cruelty would take a long time. As for her, I doubted I would ever forgive her. I understood that the journey ahead would be painful before I could heal and feel prepared for something beyond living alone. Above all, I didn't want a life filled with bitterness. Recalling the morning atop the mountain, I reminded myself that there would still be moments of beauty and magic in my life. I just need to remain open to them and keep moving towards a new beginning.